and welcome back to my nail corner. I've been here all this time. Where have you been? Just kidding. I have been here, but not on the YouTube. But here I am, recording a video for you guys and voiceover and everything, and I feel so out of sorts. I don't know what I'm doing anymore. Well, as you can see, we're going to play with some things from Maniology today. I loved this neon pastel set of polishes, stamping polishes, and wanted to play with them so badly. So kindly enough, Maniology sent me over those polishes to play with and a few stamping plates. This first one, I'm not actually going to play with today, but they kindly sent over the collaboration that Chelsea over at Sip and Dip did with Maniology. It is super cute. My daughter is obsessed with the little like clouds and rainbow kind of vibes of this one, and so I'm sure those are going to be on her nails at some time in the near future. And then I was really into this plate, and so I had requested it. It totally has like 70s floral vibes to me, and I thought it would be really cute with those pastel polishes. I had just played with the polishes on my right hand just to kind of see what the colors would look like. And then on my left hand, I have this new shape happening. It was kind of, I don't know, happenstance. I was just talking about considering trying a new shape, and I was seeing these pictures in Facebook groups. This one particular one in Revel Nail Facebook group caught my eye, and I was like, this looks so cute. I don't know if I can wear it though. And my dear girl Miranda was like, oh, you should try it. I bet it would look cute. And I was like, oh, maybe I'll get brave enough. And then sure enough, the corner of my middle nail chipped off, and I was like, it's a sign. And I just sat there and like filed them into the shape and thought I'll give it a try. So this was me giving it a try. And that was my biggest reason actually, is that I so often with the square shape that I generally like, I chip the corner off of my nail. More often than not, that's what I'm repairing the most or filing down length to accommodate. So as much as I really like the crisp square shape, the corners really are my nemesis. So I either chip them, or if I have builder gel on, that's where I'll get lifting, is like sometimes on the corner of those nails if I have them like a super sharp crisp edge. So I am getting myself all set up here, and I've kind of rambled through it, but we'll talk as I use supplies. But you can see I'm getting my stamping polishes set up, my stamping plate. Always take that blue film off of a new plate. And then I get set up with my polishes in front of me, any supplies that I'm going to need. And you can see a small portion here of my nail desk, and it looks like a little bit of a chaos situation. The rest of my desk is even more chaos. I can't even tell you how disorganized I am at the moment, and I can't stand it. Which might be part of why you haven't seen a lot of content. I need to get myself organized and make it a more calming space for me to sit down and record. Life has been chaos, but I'll be catching you up on that in a little bit here. So I went ahead and picked up that kind of big floral situation in the middle of this plate, mostly to kind of show you guys, but also because I wasn't really sure as I sat down to play with this plate what I was going to do with it. So you'll see in the future, like on the paper towel, that it's obvious like I did a couple of pickups of images and then wasn't quite sure what I was going to do. So I play around with a plate sometimes, pick up the image, look at it on the stamper, just kind of hold it over my nail to decide what will look the way that I want it to look, if that makes any sense. I'm not a very visual person in the way that I can't imagine things. So when my husband's going to do a project at our house and he wants to build something or whatever, he's super artistic and he'll draw it for me because I can't envision it in my mind's eye. And so I'm kind of the same way with nails. Sometimes I would find myself stamping things on my nails and then go, I don't like the way that looks together, or that didn't come together like I thought it would, because I just can't picture it. So sometimes picking up the image on the stamper, holding it over my nail, kind of getting that visual going helps me more so. So that's why I do what I do and mess around with the stamps first. So what we're doing today is reverse stamping. So I've picked up the image on the stamper, and now I'm going to go in and use a dotting tool and the stamping polishes and kind of color in that image. This is super fun, but take some patience. If you're not into coloring, this might not be for you. You can also use like small nail art brushes to do this, but what I do want to tell you to be careful of is you really don't want to touch whatever tool you're using to the stamper itself. You're not going to hurt the stamper, but if like the metal of that dotting tool touches the image that's on the stamper, it's going to pick it right up. You know, like it's meant to be picked up by your nail. Well, if you touch it with something else, it's going to pull it right off of the stamper. So you really want to make sure you have enough polish on whatever tool you're using, toothpick, dotting tool, brush, whatever you have, to get that, basically the polish onto the stamper, but not lift the existing image off, if that makes sense. Hopefully it does. So while you watch me kind of color this in, and I'm just really I have like a plastic lid right there on my table or on my desk that is from like a cupcake liner container, you know, like you use to pour your dips into. That's just sitting there, and I'm just putting little dabs of polish on it to take with the stamper or with the dotting tool and then put them on the stamper. Sorry if I go out of frame a little bit. This is something that you kind of have to look pretty up close to because it's such a small image that you're coloring in, but I'm doing my best to kind of make it a little bit visible on camera so you can at least see what I'm doing. Also, apologies if you hear the whining of my dog in the background. I am hidden away in my master bedroom just to be quiet away from the kids and whatnot, but our dog, who is now 8 months old, he is so attached to me. So we have a gate, like a baby gate at the top of our stairs to keep him out of the bedroom area of the house. But when I go upstairs, he literally sits on the top stair or lays on the top stair. I'll try to pop a picture in here if I have one. And just whines, whimpers, sometimes falls asleep on the step waiting for me. I've never had a dog like this that attached to one person like he has. And apparently it's a pretty common thing with certain breeds, but I grew up with huskies and they just were pack animals, so they loved the whole family equally. Not this dog. He is attached to me, and I'm not gonna lie, it was cute when he was like a tiny little pupper. And now I just feel like I have a toddler again who like wants to follow me to the bathroom or just like everywhere. So I'm glad the kids are enjoying the puppy. I enjoy him. He's really sweet. I just sometimes need my breathing space and to not like turn around and step on a dog. But that being said, life has been busy. I'm still homeschooling my 2 kiddos. They are finishing up 3rd and 5th grade. We're in the home stretch. They just did standardized testing for the year because they do a 1.5 days a week in a school situation, and that was this week. I also did an 8-week basic obedience course with the dog in January, February, and now we've started a 12-week off lead course. So every week I do that, but every day of the week I'm having to do training with the dog to kind of practice all the skills that we're learning at the class each week. So that's taking up a bit of time. I've gotten myself back into a workout routine after a couple of injuries. So like 6-7 months ago, I had like basically it's tennis elbow tendonitis in my elbow, which has slowed down my nail game a little bit too, because it's my right elbow, and just the twist of like how you have to hold your right hand to, you know, file or just all different things. I was finding that was kind of irritating it while I was trying to heal this elbow. So I was not lifting weights or doing anything that I was usually doing in the gym just to try to heal this elbow up. And it took a solid 6 months to not be a daily pain for me. And now I'm careful with it, but I'm getting back into a gym routine and just kind of paying attention so I don't re-injure it. But also a few months ago, this lovely puppy of mine tripped me on the stairs. Like, he waits at the top of the stairs for me, and then I started to go down the steps, and he came behind me and just took my feet right out from under me. And I have not felt pain like that in some time. I didn't like fall down a flight of steps. I was towards the bottom 3 or 4 steps, but when I fell, because my feet were swept right out from under me, I went directly down on my back on the stair edge. So 2 stair edges hit me in my like lower back and then almost directly at my hip. So I had like a good bruise, and I was scared. I'm not one to like be worried or take pain poorly. It hurt. My kids were downstairs and they instantly, "Mom, are you okay?" And it was the first time in their lives I said, "No, go get Dad." And then, yeah, so I spent 2 weeks doing ice and heat and naproxen, and I had gone to urgent care because after 2 days I thought, I'm worried that something more severe is wrong. They did x-rays and nothing was broken. And then I saw a chiropractor several times, which I felt helped a lot. And he could tell kind of exactly, like without me telling him where the impact was, because the one spot didn't have bruising and the other did. He could really tell where it was impacted, and help with that. But anyway, none of the pain relievers, muscle relaxants didn't do anything. They just made me tired. I was taking like Aleve around the clock and it wasn't doing anything. So it was just really a waiting game. But thankfully, I really felt the corner turn after like 2 weeks. I woke up one morning and thought, it feels different. And it dramatically improved each day after that, to the point where thankfully I healed right up. So that was another thing that just kind of kept me out of sorts for a while. I felt really behind around like the house and just everything. I was just like barely functioning for several weeks. And so that happened about 2 months ago. And then, yeah, life has just continued on. So back to nails. I haven't been doing a lot at my nail desk. My nail desk is upstairs in my house, which again, like I said, the dog is kept downstairs. And so I find myself not wanting to be up there and then deal with the whining dog at the stairs, you know? I need to get over it and realize like he's a dog and he can either spend some time in his crate or just learn to live without me. But it's just been an adjustment period in the house. So sometimes when I'm dipping my nails, it's like down at the dining room table and I don't have a camera set up down there and all that stuff. So I've still been doing my nails, but just not super creatively. So I haven't really been filming, but I'm really trying to get back into it. I miss it. I like creating content. I like being forced out of my comfort zone to create something different or try something different. And so that's what I'm here sharing with you guys today. So sorry for chatting through most of that process, but a lot of it you've seen me do before. So now that that has dried, by the way, when you reverse stamp, you need to let that fully dry. It'll dry pretty quickly, but let it fully dry on the stamper. And then you need a sticky base coat on your nail. So I put a sticky base coat down, let that dry just ever so briefly. And now I stamped that on, and I'm going to get those little extra flowers that didn't transfer, not because they didn't transfer, but because they weren't placed on the nail. And I'm going to put them in those kind of bare spots on the nail, which is kind of, I think it's pretty cool to be able to do that. If you have that sticky polish, the sticky base coat on your nail, it will pick up all that extra stuff. So I was able to just not lose all of the extra flowers that I colored in, because obviously my nail is not as big as the image. And I could have even used them on other nails if I wanted to, put that sticky base coat down and then place those little flowers on the other nails. But I thought this turned out really cute. I love the colors and just the spring vibes, but with the little neon flare that it brought. And then you saw the other image I picked up was honestly probably my favorite nail, not just because I really liked that pinky, corally, it's kind of like a melon polish. I really like that color right there on that stamper, but I just love how that looked on the nail. So you'll see that in a minute. And then I'm going to go in with another one of the images and just use the other colors to do a regular stamp on the nail. So no more coloring in. That was kind of my accent nail, was the one that I did the reverse stamping on. And I just love how it turned out. This whole thing felt very good. Oh, and I should say the base color on my nails is Blink from Revel. So it's a really pale pink and it glows in the dark. So you'll see that at the end as well. I just ruined the surprise. But if you know that color, then you know that the glow is coming. So I applied that sticky base. I let it dry very briefly and then touched it gently to see if it was basically dry but tacky and ready to go. And then you just go ahead and stamp that image right on, and it just picks up flawlessly. So you do need to have either a sticky base coat or another option is a gel base, because the gel base leaves a tacky layer on your nail. But if you're doing reverse stamping, because the polish is going to be dry, fully dry on your stamping or your stamper, you need to have something sticky down to pick it up. Another option is if you have like a foil glue. So I know I've used the Triple D foil glue that's just air dry. You could use that as well. But like I said, Maniology has a great sticky base coat, and I like to use that. It air dries really quickly. And then I just have a Maniology cleanup brush, and I'm just dipping the tip of it in acetone, and I like to use that to just clean up the edge. So any stamping image that's kind of hanging over the edge or got on my skin, I just use the cleanup brush with a little bit of acetone and clean up that edge. It's a really nice like angled brush, so it does a really precise job. So you can always grab that at Maniology. And then if you've seen me cleaning off the plate with that cute little tool, it's got a pineapple on the end, and when you push the pineapple down, it opens up like a claw at the end of it, kind of like that game at arcades that nobody can ever win, with the claw hand that picks up the stuffed animals or the candy or whatever. So this claw is to pick up like a cotton ball, and so I use that cotton ball in acetone to clean off my stamping plate between images. And that's really great, because if you're doing both of your hands, or you just don't want to mess up your existing mani on your right hand with acetone, then it's really great to have the little grabby claw to do that. So that's another thing from Maniology that's fantastic. I love their stampers. Their stamping plates are always etched to perfection, and just everything picks up so nicely. Their polishes are really nicely pigmented. They have so many things I haven't tried yet that I really want to, but like I'm slow growing a collection. But I used one of the stamping polishes the other day to give myself a little pedicure, one of the ones from this collection actually, and I just love the versatility of that. Also, if you are not a gel user, I like to use a gel top coat at the end of my mani, but you can use a smudge-free top coat, and Maniology has a great one. So when you've applied a stamping polish to your nail, if you go in with a top coat, you could smudge it, and that nobody wants that. So I highly recommend a smudge-free top coat if you don't want to wait like extra long for it to dry, or don't want to risk the smudge. Then a smudge-free top coat is going to go on really nicely and not mess up your stamping image. So you could see there that I picked up the stamping image and then didn't like the way that it looked on the stamper, and so I did it again. So what you want to make sure, and I think what I was doing was kind of rushing through these, is that when you use your acetone to clean off the stamping plate, make sure it's fully dry before you go in with your stamping polish again on the same image, because if you have any like acetone left, it's obviously going to mess up the polish that you put on the plate. So if you are going to clean off and use the same image, just make sure you like wave your hand over it or blow on it or whatever, or use a lint-free wipe if you want, to just make sure you fully dried that image on the plate beforehand. So I'm going to go ahead and let you guys watch for a second, and I'm just going to take a breath here, and then I'm going to come back and wrap this up, and hopefully I'll be back sooner rather than later, because it's been a long time. And like I said, I miss creating content. I miss interacting with you guys. I need to get back on Instagram and all of those things. They're sitting there, and I'm there. I'm like watching everybody else's nail content and like rooting them on. But I just haven't been interacting, and I miss doing that. So if you guys are still on Instagram, I'm going to post this mani over there. Please drop in and give me a comment. I want to know who's still hanging out on Instagram. I feel like the platform is so different from what it was a year ago or 2 years ago when I really I guess it's been more than that now, that's when I really kind of got on Instagram with my nail content. But I want to know if you guys are still hanging out on there, if you guys still want to see things if you guys are only looking at videos on Instagram, because good Lord, I never really got rolling in that, and maybe I need to stretch my wings and do some Insta reels. And now I was gonna take a breath, and instead I've kept talking. Okay, so I'm going in with a gel base coat here. This gel base coat is from Gigi's Custom Dips, and that is a Canadian brand, and I love it so much. Her gels are so good. I often have them on my desk as like my go-to. I love Gigi's Custom. I love West Coast Dips gels. I love Triple D's gels. There are some really good gels out there. I've tried some other ones that are like thick and goopy or runny or just different things. Those three are they're all different and in their own, I love them for different reasons. So, but anyway, all that to say, this is Gigi's Custom Dips Gel Base. So I'm applying a thin layer over my stamping, and just gently. Again, you don't really want to brush stroke directly to the stamping polish, so you're kind of just floating the gel over the nail. And then I'll go in with a gel top coat. But speaking of gel top coats, I believe, if I remember correctly, I used the West Coast Dips gel top coat on this, and I love the shiny finish of that top coat. It's just to die for. And I'll tell you what, it's a gel top coat that I love, but I do not use over my builder gel when I'm using peel base and whatnot before I dip, because what I've found is it is such a slick surface that if I apply my peel base over the West Coast Dips gel top coat, my peel base like beads up, you know, like a windshield with Rain-X on it when it rains. It just doesn't. It's so funny. It kind of beads up and separates because I think it's because that top coat is just so glossy. So anyway, I love it over my dip manis, and it just has that incredible shine. You know what I haven't tried is Triple D has a brand new top coat that I think that she had in her Diva box. I'm not sure if it's released on the website. I have to check. But apparently it is like super, super glossy. So I'm excited to try that at some point in the future too. So here we are. I have the Quartz Ultra Shine West Coast Dips Gel Top Coat. I am applying that the same way you apply the gel base. The gel base, for anyone that's new to this and is saying like, why are you applying both? Why not just a top coat? Your gel base coat is really going to help your base coat is going to help your top coat adhere. So a gel top coat does not like to adhere to a slick, smooth surface like dip powder. It wants something grippy. So people used to say you kind of need to like file into the dip powder and not have it super smooth. Well, I like it smooth. So I file my dip powder smooth, and then I apply a gel base and a gel top coat, because otherwise the gel top coat will be prone to peeling. So if you've had that experience, you put a gel top coat over your dip powder and it peeled off and you thought, why, I'm sticking with dip liquids, I highly recommend you try a gel base and then a gel top coat. They are really like game changer, and my manis are just so tough and tolerant of life, everyday life. I'm still using the sensitive dip base from Revel Nail and loving that. I have no dip flu symptoms, which is fantastic. Some people have said, now I use it over builder gel, but some people that have used it on their natural nails have had some issues with adherence. And what I've heard is if you put a layer of any dip base on your nail and let it dry down first, and then go in with your sensitive dip liquids, then they're not having problems with the dip popping off. So if that's something you've struggled with, consider that as an option. So I've applied my top coat. Look at how pretty. And then if you flip your hand upside down, it just gives that gel top coat a little extra leveling power. And I cured for 60 seconds, and here is the finished look. I will say I love the shape. I feel like after a week or two of messing with it and filing it and it growing out, I didn't really know how to handle it. And so I'm kind of down to short little nubs right now because I filed it all off to start over. So I'm not sure if I'm going to go back to that or kind of have an adapted square with maybe a little bit more rounded corner. I don't know what I'm going to do, but hopefully you'll see real soon in upcoming content. So as always, I'm applying my cuticle oil to hydrate the skin around my nails, keep it happy and healthy after all that I put it through. And here's the finished look, you guys. Didn't these turn out so cute? I kind of want to do them all over again now that I'm looking at this. This was a few weeks ago now. And like I said, I filed my nails down to kind of short little nubs. So we're going to let them grow out a little bit and then create some more content for you. I do have a cat eye gel from West Coast Dips that I am dying to try with the new like magnet trend. Have you guys seen it with the horseshoe magnet? Oh my gosh, look at the glow from Blink, you guys. Oh, to die for. You can enjoy your nails day and night. Anyway, upcoming video you should be seeing is me playing with a horseshoe magnet and some cat eye gels. So stay tuned and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye now.